Normally I request Dr. Anna to make this as part of the learning exchanges, but there were a lot of other things going on, so no problem. We are doing it as part of our session. Anyway, we have talked about nature, sustainability, all that. So I felt that is equally okay. So
yeah.
And in a way it's good, because if we announce it in advance, then some of the men disappear. But this is just as important for men, this subject, we know to know about it. So it is good that we have this captive audience. So
I was fortunate to have become an obstetrician and gynecologist. You know, when you enter a medical college and when you finish your MBBS, then there are opportunities for you to specialize in many, many different branches. And for me, from my second year onwards, I had decided to become an obstetrician and gynecologist. Fortunately, I did become a gynecologist and practiced for 35 long years. A very, very happy profession, a very satisfactory profession. Yeah, and finally I had to bring it to an end, which I did on 31st of December last year. Another week or 10 days time, it will be 1 full year, which I really miss. You know, going to the hospital, you know, all that, you know, all that. Yeah, I was fortunate to have been a part and to get to know all possible aspects of a woman's reproductive life, all possible facets, and the basis of all that is menstruation. What makes a woman vis-a-vis a man is menstruation. This whole evolution of reproductive mechanism itself is very, very interesting, very, very interesting. Starting from unicellular organisms, how they divide, how they reproduce, asexual reproduction as we call it, and as evolution goes forward, there comes a stage where there is plant kingdom and animal kingdom, and in both the kingdoms we have sexual reproduction also. In animal kingdom we have external fertilization and external development of the young one, and then we come to a stage where there is internal fertilization and external maturation, and then we come to a stage where there is internal fertilization and internal maturation, where the mother gives rise to a young one, which is where we find ourselves. We are called mammals. We call ourselves mammals. And again, what makes human beings very special is that here we have man and woman. Woman takes the large part of the reproductive process, and obviously man has reproductive organs and a woman has reproductive organs, the basics of which we need not go into. But in woman, especially in human beings, as compared to many other mammals, there is this menstrual cycle that sets in. At the age of 10 or 12, a girl matures, quote unquote matures. That is when we call menarche sets in. The menstruation, monthly menstruation starts. So the topic is sustainable menstruation. It matters to our bodies, and not only to our bodies but also to our environment. Yeah. Next. So what is sustainability? Very, very briefly, sustainability means we make use of the natural resources as much as we need them to lead a good life, but at the same time leave the natural resources in a much better way for the future generations. It's not that we use up all the natural resources in our generation itself. I don't know, probably this has already been shared in the workshop. When an African tribal person was asked by a Westerner, where is your granary? Where is your go down? He says, my brother's stomach is my go down. That's what that tribal person says. Whereas when a Western person is asked, why are you gobbling up everything yourself? What will you do? What will you save for your grandchildren? And that person's response is, what have they done to me? Why should I save anything for them? So these are the two world views. So when we come to sustainability, now that is the buzzword. I am sure the next 50 years, at least 50 years, we are going to be discussing only this word. Sustainability in all aspects of life. All aspects of life. Whether it is sustainable menstruation, sustainable farming, sustainable education, or sustainable this or that or that. So that is sustainability. And what is menstruation? We all know what menstruation is. Menstruation is the monthly, next. Menstruation is still a taboo, very much a taboo. Again, as I have been observing with every Jeevan Vidhya workshop, more and more persons who come to attend the workshop are aware about menstruation, not only about menstruation but also about sustainable menstruation. And I hope very soon a day will come when this whole presentation itself becomes totally redundant. But as of now, I think it's still needed. Menstruation is still a taboo, and who should know? Who should know about menstruation and why? Is it only the women? Or men should also know? We are coming to the end of 2025. So should men also know about menstruation? Is it their responsibility or is it not their responsibility? For centuries together, our culture at least, cutting across all the faiths, all the castes, this whole business of menstruation has been the responsibility of women. The men folk have always said that it is not our business. It's not our world. They manage. And how they manage is what we're going to see. Yes. So management of menstruation yesterday and today. How was it yesterday? How were our mothers, how were our grandmothers managing their menstruation? And what is the scenario today? We attain menarche between age 10 years to 15 years. Earlier, when we were in the medical college, we used to say that wait till 18 years of age if you have not attained menarche. But today we don't have to wait till 18 years because we have ultrasound and other investigative facilities. So if a girl has not attained menarche even by the age of 14 or 15, we start investigating. So menarche, and now what we see is that the age of menarche is coming down. What was earlier 13 or 14, today even a girl of 10 years or 11 years, it's common to see them having their menarche and reach menopause by the age of 45 to 50 years. Menopause means cessation of menstruation for a period of at least 1 full year. A woman may have irregular menstruation once in 2 months, once in 3 months, once in 6 months. That is not menopause. If there is total cessation for a period of 1 year, that is what we call as menopause. And if a woman has bleeding after that, that should not be ignored. That should be investigated properly for any any tumor or any other illness. So during this period, starting from the age of say 10 or 15 years till the age of 50 years, a woman bleeds for approximately 35 years, which means barring pregnancy and periods of lactation, a woman will bleed for something like 420 periods. 420 periods. Now today this is the common word that we use, woman having periods. But then in our local languages, we have always had very many different descriptions for this whole process. So I would like to know from you all, from whatever linguistic background that you come from, how is it called in Tamil, in Telugu, in Hindi, in Gujarati, in Marathi?
बाहेरची.
Baherchi. Baherchi means outside.
माहवारी.
माहवारी.
माहवारी MC मंथली साइकिल भी बोलते हैं शॉर्ट में.
वो तो अभी का हो गया.
माहवारी इज एक्चुअली कॉमन इन.
या माहवारी.
मराठीमध्ये मासिक पाळी.
मासिक पाळी आणि बाहेरची.
बाहेरची शिवायचं नाहीये.
शिवायचं नाही. डोंट टच.
अडचण.
अडचण इज ऑल्सो युज्ड. हो हो. अडचण. ओके. अडचण इज डिफिकल्टी, ऑब्स्टेकल.
प्रॉब्लेम.
दैट इज अर्चन.
प्रॉब्लेम भी बोलते हैं.
प्रॉब्लम.
प्रॉब्लम है उसको.
हो उसको प्रॉब्लम है.
तमिल में तीटू बोलते हैं.
तमिल
तीटू. 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 दूरम வீட்ல இருந்து தள்ளி வைக்கிறது. keeping away.
What is Titu?
Titu is not to be touched.
Yeah,
Untouchability.
Not with us. Same.
Yeah, untouchability.
Untouchability.
Yeah.
No, actually it is impure period kind of thing.
Yeah.
No, it is. That's it.
Kavla Shivla.
That's the derivative of
The crow came and bit me. Yeah.
Duram. He's a Kathodi said. Duram. Duram is distance.
Duram, Duram.
आंटी आई है.
आंटी आई है.
आंटी अरमा.
हाँ हाँ हाँ.
आंटी अरमा.
This is मासिक.
Mashik. हाँ हाँ. See, as we know, earlier we had matrilineal systems, matrilineal culture, where menstruation was considered very sacred. Those people knew that only a menstruating woman will be able to give birth to children. And that was why the first plowing of the season was done by a menstruating woman. That was not considered something apavitra, ashuddha, impure, nothing. But those were the days. But when we came to a patriarchal system, things changed. In Mahabharata we get this episode where they are playing dice, right? And Dharmaraja goes on losing everything. Finally he loses Draupadi also. And immediately Dushasana sends his servants to the Antapura, the harem, where Draupadi is there, and they go and tell her that now you must come to the Asthan, where all the elders are sitting. She says, I am in my menstrual period. I cannot come. The word that is used is Bahishte.
Oh, I thought it is Rajaswali.
Rajaswala is a common neutral term. Where Bahishte is something which quotes that she is outside. She has become impure. So that is the kind of mindset that has continued even till today. So next, what do we use during our periods? Sanitary napkins and tampons, which have been the common things in the last say 30 odd years. First they came into the urban areas, and now they have come into the rural areas also, in many different ways. Yeah. Why the change came? Why did the change come? Like, what were our mothers and grandmothers doing?
Cloth.
Using a simple piece of cotton cloth. Either reuse it every month for many months, or use a new piece of cloth. They would wash it, dry it, and maybe keep it for the next month. So why did we change? What was there for centuries? In the last 30 years, why did this change come? What was the perception and what is the reality?
They didn't want to do the washing. They felt they wanted to be hygienic, so keep changing every time, then the bad smell of that won't be there.
Yeah, so perception and reality. The perception is convenient. Sanitary pads are convenient. Convenient to use, convenient to manage, convenient to carry, and convenient to dispose of. Thin and have wings, so that they remain in place. They have wings. They don't move. This is the perception, by the way. And they are leak proof. So menstrual blood that comes out of the uterine cavity through the vagina, what is coming out of the vagina will remain within the pad the pad is designed in that way and it is considered as hygienic. As against that cloth, that piece of cloth. But what is the reality? The reality is these sanitary pads, disposable sanitary pads, are made of plastic and many different chemicals. 80 to 90% of the pad is made of plastic, and it causes infections and rashes. It is associated with many health problems. It makes the menstrual blood smell.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which is not the case with, so much the case with an ordinary piece of cloth. It is the pad which makes it smell, and it is totally non-biodegradable. Just like any other plastic object, it is non-biodegradable and cannot be reused or recycled. It floats in water. It floats in water and clogs the drains. See, there are super absorbent crystals in the pad which absorb the watery part of the blood, and that is what it makes to bloat, especially when you throw it in the gutter or in a washroom. It's always a headache for the warden of the ladies' hostel. I have a friend who is a principal of a PU college, and he says managing the ladies' hostel is a big headache. Sanitary pads are thrown into that thing and it clogs, and every now and then we have to do a massive exercise. Next. So in one woman's lifetime, 4,200 to 6,000 sanitary pads will be required. On an average, 8 to 10 pads during a cycle, which will amount to this number. Where do we throw the disposable sanitary pads? What is the practice as of today?
In a bin?
It goes into the garbage bin, and then the Paura Karmikas will come and collect it and take it to the common dump, garbage dump, wherever that is. It can only be incinerated as a method of treatment. Now this presentation itself is slightly dated. I'm sorry for that. Incineration is no more a method of proper disposal.
What is incineration?
Incineration is burning.
Oh.
Burning an object in a very high temperature. In a very high temperature where no smoke is also there. There is no smoke also. You must have seen this incinerator kept in ladies' hostels, in many offices, and all that. But we'll come to that little later. That is not a proper method. That's not the best way of disposal at all. And before that, there is the other common methods of disposal. Throwing it in the garbage dump or burying it somewhere. Neither are they the best methods of disposal. Bangalore itself, Bangalore one city itself produces something like 90,000 kilograms of sanitary waste per day. Per day. Yeah. And unfortunately here we are talking of mainly of menstrual pads. Now there is some other issue that has come up. We'll have to discuss that. It is often not disposed of safely at all. When we see the ground reality, especially after the governments, the state governments started distributing pads free to the school going girls with a good intention of, they should not discontinue their education once they get menarche. The idea was to ensure that they continue with their education. But what happens is with the kind of housing facilities that they have in the rural areas, there is no proper way of disposal. Either they put them in a plastic bag and try to bury in the backyard, which is totally unsafe, not good at all, or put that in a plastic carry bag, throw it by the wayside when they are going to the school, or throw them in the water body, or burn them. which is still worse. Next, the evolution of a pad from a very simple cotton piece of cloth to a sanitary pad like this, which has a middle absorbent layer, perforated plastic layer, it has wings and underlying adhesive layer.
The first picture is something which government was distributing, or it is the homemade one?
No,
It's a homemade. Homemade one.
It's like a
The
road
government
cloth
is
and
not
all.
government is not distributing these cotton pads.
Not now, but initially they were. I think they were.
Before COVID, till COVID, they provided during that pandemic, they
Simple ones.
they have not.
Shuchi pads.
Something like that.
Okay. Yeah.
Cotton.
Now, what is there in a disposable pad? What is hiding in it? There is styrene, which is used in car tires. There is chloromethane, which is used in petroleum refining. There is acetone, which is used in nail polish remover. There is chloroethane, which is used in styrofoam. Many such chemicals are used in a disposable sanitary pad. Now, what are the problems with disposable sanitary pads? When a woman wears these sanitary pads, there is rubbing and irritation of the thighs. There is that typical malodor that emanates from that pad. There is a bulge of the pad that is visible under the cloths many times. Tampons we don't have to discuss because they are not much in use in our culture, in our country. What is the impact on health?
But can you still say, because I know
So you'll be
of
surprised.
my
at
people
what
who
sort
are
of
using
things.
tampons and I keep telling them don't. No, nothing will happen. Everybody uses nothing.
Tampon
will
is a
Insertable kind of
Yeah.
object. But sir, you'll be surprised that a lot of the university and young teenagers have started using it quietly on the slide. So we can discuss that later. But that's
Yeah, we'll come to that.
observation.
We'll
Sure.
come to that. Yeah, impact on health. Many women who complain of vaginal itching and rashes, soreness and or discharge may be experiencing the symptoms of vulval dermatitis or intimate irritation due to sanitary pads. Now, this is one thing, the incidence of which we don't get to know properly. How many women really experience such issues? Because every woman thinks that there are so many women out there who are using these pads and none of them are complaining. Probably I am the only one who is experiencing this. Because everyone keeps silent on the issue, we don't get to know what is the real incidence. How many women really experience these kinds of health issues? Yeah. Impact on environment. Sanitary waste is picked up from your doorstep or workplace by housekeeping staff or paurakarmikas or waste pickers, exposing them to all kinds of health problems, especially when it is raining or when the disposed pad goes into the gutter with dirty water. It has blood, which is a very good medium for the bacteria to grow. And these paurakarmikas, most often they are not provided with gloves or any other equipment as that. So they are exposed to great health hazards. Yeah. In the sewage, when the drain gets blocked, some person like this will have to come, open the lid, get into the blocked drain and clean it for us. The super absorbent gel makes them bloat and clog the drains. Cleaners have to get into these drains to clean them for us. It's absolutely inhumane. People die. Statistics show that on an average every year 400 to 500 people die when they get inside because there is no oxygen. It is totally anaerobic decomposing that is happening there. They get in and because of lack of oxygen, before they can come out, they die. Yeah. Why is sanitary waste a problem? It cannot be recycled, it cannot be reused. If it is dumped in the landfill, there are serious environmental and health effects. And if they are burnt, incineration or simple burning will cause very very dangerous gases to be released called furans and dioxins. Dioxins are the most toxic chemicals that we have seen so far. You know, these are gases which are not seen like smoke. It goes up into thin air, and during the rainy season with the clouds it will come to some other place, and when it rains we'll get those furans and dioxins here, maybe burned somewhere else kilometers away. So what is the solution? Now we, to a very small extent, we have understood what is the problem. What are the solutions? And that is what brings us to sustainable menstruation. Now pads and tampons and diapers, because they have chemicals and plastics, they have health and environmental hazards. As against that, we have cloth pads, menstrual cups and cloth diapers, which are reusable and they are biodegradable. They are better for health and better for environment. I am sure many of you know both about these reusable cloth pads as well as menstrual cups.
Don't know the cups.
You don't know the cups?
No,
I
sir.
think we have brought some.
Actually, doctors are saying not to use that. It is creating a problem. Mushrooms? No, he's saying it can be.
There's a cup inside. You can open.
Can we pass it on?
Yeah. Let me see whether. There's one more. Yeah. So just in case, you want to have a
How
look.
does it attach to the body?
We'll explain.
I'll explain.
Sanjeev, actually my wife was using that.
Yeah.
She had some kind of an infection.
Yeah.
Doctors has prescribed not to use it.
Possible.
Washable. But they are saying that this has to be at least changed at least after certain time. You cannot just keep it like that. So it is creating a new kind of an issue.
Well, I can say from my experience, I use it since 10 years and I bought only 2 cups.
Loudly.
I'm using it since 10 years and I have the 10-year-old one still and one I got like 5 years ago. So I still have both of them. I use both of them still. Like it's silicone one and it hasn't gone bad in 10 years and I do use the same one.
That is the very advantage.
Yeah.
We'll come to that. We'll come to that.
Okay.
So these are the reusable cloth pads.
They have.
Many different varieties. Many different varieties, sizes and all that. Maybe you can just have a look. You can,
Pass it on.
yeah, pass it on. Someone wants to have a look.
Good.
That cloth, if you want to see the cloth.
इससे cover उनके पास है, वो बांध दो।
It is that.
Okay, so
I mean to say that it doesn't cause an infection, but if there is an
It can.
infection, it can be
see,
protected.
anything that is kept inside the body, there is always a chance of having an infection. No doubt about it. Yes, we'll go. It is hypocritical. Sorry.
We go to the next 2 columns or I think we were looking at the first
Slide.
column.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, reusable, biodegradable, better for health. Okay.
Next. It is hypocritical to complain about the state of affairs without doing what's within our power. Getting rid of the disposable sanitary napkins is the least that we can do. Be smart and be responsible. Next. So options are available. These are reusable cloth pads and these are the menstrual cups. Yeah. Reusable cloth pads come in different sizes, different designs, depending upon the age, depending upon the amount of bleeding that a woman is experiencing. It is usually more on the first day and gradually decreases. So cloth pads are healthier and greener. And how to manage them once a cloth pad is used. It is very easy. You just have to soak the cloth pad in water for at least 15 to 30 minutes in simple cold water. We should not be using hot water, because then the iron content in the blood will change its form and cause stains to appear on the cloth pad. So second thing is, scrub it softly with hands, the pad, take away all the blood and dry it in natural sunlight. See, drying is the most important thing that we should be doing, because it is reusable. Not fully dried pad, if it is kept in the cupboard for use in the next month, if it is still having water content, if it still has moisture, then that is a very good breeding ground for the bacteria, for the harmful bacteria. So we should take all possible care to see that it is totally dry. But there we come to another problem. In India, even today, men's undergarments can be dried in the sun, out in the open, whereas women's undergarment is still a taboo.
Yes.
To display them in the open, to put them to dry in the open, let alone an undergarment, even a cloth pad, is something unheard of. That is still the reality. Yeah, next.
Why, I mean, the image is showing some pre-fabricated cloth pads. Why just can't cloth be used?
Yeah, cloth can also be used. They are very simple, as in the ancient times. As in the ancient times, a simple cloth, as our mothers were managing, that is still very much a possibility. Absolutely no problem. Again, that has to be dried properly. See, the problem with our senior, older generations was, there was no way of drying those cloths. You all must be knowing that you tie a rope under a cot and put them to dry there, and put a big bed sheet so that it is not seen by the men folk of the family. And sometimes it doesn't dry totally. Yeah.
So regarding the cloth, my wife, she feels that if I use cloths there will be a leakage. Even cups she doesn't want to try. Even I know what are the harm it does to the environment, but she's hesitant to do it.
Yeah, see, there is always a learning curve. Just as we learn a bicycle or swimming, there is a learning curve. You don't get it at the very first attempt. We have to learn the proper method, whether it is cloth pad, and yes, there are issues with cloth pad, but that happens once in a while, and we need not even become so fundamentalist that we are not going to use a sanitary pad at all. We need not be having that kind of a mindset. We keep sanitary pads as reserve. If the situation so demands, use a sanitary pad, no problem.
The cups can be used for even if she is running.
Oh yes, that is exactly where they became popular.
She can even swim also.
Women athletes, swimmers, jumpers, all women athletes have been using menstrual cups since decades.
Yes.
Since decades. Yeah. Reusable menstrual cup, it's completely safe. It is made of soft medical grade materials like silicone or TPE. Absolutely safe. These medical grade silicone stents and all that, they are placed within the body, whereas this is kept in the vagina. As he said, that experience, any object can cause infection. Its only thing is to take proper precautions. Yeah, this is a very simple diagram of the uterus. These are the two ovaries. On either side you have the fallopian tubes. This is the uterine cavity, and this is the endometrium that gets shed every month as menstrual blood, and this is where the menstrual cup is placed within the vagina, so that the blood that gets shed gets collected in the menstrual cup. On an average, a woman will be losing about 50 to 100 milliliters of blood every month. Actually, it is much less, but we can say that up to 100 ml on an average. And whatever blood gets collected in the cup, every 6 to 8 hours, a woman has to go into the washroom, take this out, clean it with simple tap water and keep it in its place again. Place it again in the vagina for the next 6 to 8 hours, depending upon the amount of bleeding she has. If it is very heavy, maybe she has to change it more often. If it is less, but it so happens that many times the woman, it is so safe and so comfortable that she forgets that she has a cup in place. She remembers it after many days. Yeah. Advantages of a menstrual cup. One is most important: no need to remove it while passing urine or stools. Unlike when a woman is using sanitary pads or cloth pads, it is inside the vagina, so going to the washroom to pass urine or to pass stools is no issue at all. Next, it gives you full mobility. You can do all possible activities, heavy manual work also, like what our farmers are doing. Can do heavy work, no irritation, no rubbing of thighs. Change once in 8 to 10 hours instead of every 3 to 4 hours as with pads. And most important, not affected by rain or getting wet, which is what discourages a woman to go out in the rain when she is having her periods. Don't feel that you are wearing anything at all. It is so very comfortable. Maybe we have another side, or probably this is one, or maybe just go see. We repeat this every time. A woman who is in periods is discouraged not to go into the sea for a swim, fearing that a shark will come from some 5 kilometers away, smelling your blood, which is totally a fiction. But then, if a woman has a menstrual cup in place, she can jolly well enjoy a sea swim fully. Absolutely no issue at all. Yeah. And fourth advantage is, as she shared, buy once only, maybe once in 8 to 10 years. A cup can be used for up to 8 to 10 years, saving you money and less dump in the landfill. Of course, finally this will end up in the landfill, no doubt about it. But so much less of the landfill. Yeah. Saves you a lot of money. Money spent on menstrual cups in 10 years is something to the tune of 1,000 rupees to 3,000 rupees depending upon the brand.
Now it is
It's come down. Yes, they are available online. Probably all small level cities, second tier, 3 tier towns also have this in the medical shops or pharma shops. Money spent on sanitary pads in 10 years is to the tune of 12,000 to 45,000 rupees, again depending upon the brand. That is the huge difference between the money spent by a family. Yeah.
So what is the price of the cup which you are holding, doctor?
This was about 800 rupees.
Now it is around half of it.
Yeah.
Now
Good quality cups have come into the market. Yeah. So use a menstrual cup or a cloth pad and enjoy a happy period. But we live in India, where virginity is still a very important issue, totally unscientific, absolutely no basis for that, but still living in a kind of cultural scenario that we live in, we advise girls to use reusable cloth pads till she gets married, and once her sexual life starts, she can go in for menstrual cups. But where the parents are knowledgeable, where the parents know how useful it is for their daughter to use a menstrual cup, where virginity or an intact hymen is not an issue at all, there a girl can be encouraged to go in for menstrual cups even much before her marriage. And this is exactly what happened with my daughter. My daughter, when she started attending college, one day she came and asked me, like, shall I use a menstrual cup? I said yes. very good. Only thing is, please go to a person who is already using a cup. Take guidance from her as to how to use it properly, how to place it, how to take it out, how to cleanse it, and all that. But otherwise, no issues, no issues. You are totally free to use it, and she's been using it. And not only that, now she is telling her friends. Now slowly that is spreading in that younger generation. So many girls of her age are using that. Yeah. So using reusable cloth pads or menstrual cups will make your periods rash free, trash free, and cash free. Make the switch today. Yeah.